Welcome to The Race, your new home of motorsport coverage starting in 2020. And we're going to start talking about Formula One 2020. The new season is almost upon us. First, we'll have launches and testing. Testing, of course, where we will ignore every single quick lap time set by a Ferrari. But at The Race, we have a new team of F1 journalists we want you to meet. You may recognise the names or the faces. I'd like to welcome Edd Straw, Mark Hughes and Scott Mitchell to the team. We're here to very quickly talk about the key themes we're going to be looking out for this season in F1. And Ed, you kick us off. What's a big topic that's going to dominate what you'll be following this year?
It has to be the possibility of history being made. Lewis Hamilton could win his 7th World Championship, equaling Michael Schumacher's record. There's a chance he could actually break the outright wins record, which is 91 wins, also set by Michael Schumacher. He's currently on 84. So if we look at form from the previous few seasons, he's on course to do that. It's not often you see this. I was going to say it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing to see this, but we saw Michael Schumacher achieving this not so long ago. It feels like yesterday, really. If Hamilton can do this, it's absolutely phenomenal. The wins record, that 91 level, is almost more remarkable than the championships record. But this could be a massive season for a driver who's already down in history, but he can double underline his place in the record books if this year goes to recent form.
And that's that thing, how it feels like it's going to be. That's the favourite scenario as we sit here pre-season. But what's nagging in my head is that when there's a sea change in competitiveness from one era to the next, it's often very sudden, just switches. And so if you imagine that Schumacher era that you were talking about, we couldn't imagine that that was ever going to change when you went, for 5-6 years and you knew what the outcome was going to be. When it changes, it can change very quickly. And I think if there is going to be a sea change, I don't think it's going to be Ferrari, who we see nudging up and then falling away and nudging. I think the one that has the potential to do it is Red Bull and Honda and Verstappen, that combination together. And we've seen that Red Bull was on a very, very productive path at the end of 18, and then suddenly the regulations changed and they had to start from scratch. And again, you saw them coming up really strong by the end of the year, and I think this time we'll see that momentum continue. That on top of the big gains that Honda's made, if there's going to be a threat to Mercedes' dominance and to those records being set, my hunch is that will come from Red Bull, Honda, Verstappen. And this Mercedes team is arguably the greatest team that has ever existed in the sport's history. So I'm not making that, I'm not saying it's obvious they're going to be beaten. I'm saying if they are, I think the threat will come from Red Bull and Honda.
Whether it comes from Red Bull or Ferrari, I think the exciting thing for me is that it's going to put either Verstappen or Charles Leclerc into the mix of a proper title fight, which means seeing Hamilton go after that record against the next generation, sort of a little bit like that when the Schumacher era came to an end. He couldn't fight Alonso in 05, but we got to see that fight in 06, and that's what I think it would be this equivalent of Hamilton versus Verstappen or Leclerc, or if we're really lucky, Hamilton versus Verstappen versus Leclerc, a proper free team fight. And they've been talking it up. That's what Lewis and Toto Wolff at Mercedes said a lot at the end of last year. There's stable regulations. Red Bull, as Mark said, is on that great trajectory, and Ferrari keep telling us that they're finally going to sort things out. So I don't care which of them take the fight to Mercedes, but I really hope Red Bull or Ferrari do, because if Verstappen or Leclerc's in the title fight, I think we see a new side of Lewis, and F1's all the better for it.
Let us know what you think, and let us know what you want to see from the race over the course of this year, and make sure you follow @WeAreTheRace on social media for many more updates on what we'll be up to this year.